Good morning. This is Pastor Doug. For those who were able to join us last week in person or online, you know that we continued in our study in James of following the way of Jesus. And we talked about the path of wise leadership. Leadership is really important in any organization, and of course, the church is no exception to that. And there can be unwise leadership, leadership that is marked by kind of chaos and division and uncertainty, and wise, godly leadership that's marked by a sense of calm, purpose, order, a sense of confidence. It's not always easy to lead. It's not always easy to be led. In fact, it's difficult to go to places where we may not necessarily really want to go, but we know that's really best for us and really best for the kingdom. And that's what it's really all about. It's not what it's best for me personally. It's best for Christ and his kingdom. And that spills over into what is good even for the whole of the group. I asked a couple of questions in my sermon, just things that we need to be reflecting upon as a church. What kind of leaders are we looking for as we even select leaders in May, as we look at leaders on our council or deacons or other positions within the church? What should we be looking for among people? Also, how are we developing leaders? Leaders don't just grow on trees. There's a developmental process. And thirdly, how are you developing as a leader? We all lead something. Could be in our home, could be in our neighborhood. You may lead, maybe not from out front, but kind of behind the scenes. And are you tapping into the wisdom that comes from above? That's what James talks about. Heavenly wisdom, he says, is first of all pure. It's very others focused. It's loving of peace. It's considerate. It's submissive. The wisdom that's from above is full of mercy and good fruit. It's also sincere and impartial. Are we acting with that sense of putting aside my needs for the sake of others? Am I looking out for their concerns? Am I valuing them? Am I listening to what God is saying even through other people? And I tell you, as a leader, it's sometimes very difficult to do that. We get sort of locked into our own ideas and our own ways, and somehow we think, well, that's definitely God's idea and God's ways. Well, it very may well be, but it's good to test those things. I've been thinking a lot about developing leaders, and right now we don't have a leadership development process at First Baptist. And so, if you are sensing that God is calling you into a deeper level of commitment, and you really want to grow and develop as a leader, grow in your faith, grow in what you know, grow in your skills for ministry, grow in character, I'd like to hear from you. I've got some material I've used in the past, but really kind of starting to work through is who would be involved in that and what format would that take. So again, I would love to hear from you on that. This Sunday, Beth and I will actually be away, but Pastor Melinda will be bringing the word and continuing from James and talking about the path of humility. And that certainly ties in. You'll see that James 3 and 4 are very well connected, where a godly leader or a wise leader is one who lives in humility. And really that applies to all of us, living in humility before God and even with one another. I hope you have a great week, trusting God that he's going to provide all that you need for life and for godliness.